finally get to tell you our bourbon of the year. Well, after a hardcore battle, a blind battle at that, we came up... Fighting words. We came up with our bourbon of the year. It was much different than we actually thought it would be. We kind of had an idea. We laid some out. We were like, okay, we think this is going to be the bourbon of the year, but we weren't quite sure. So we did a blind battle and we came up with this list.
I think the top three were pretty close. I think it was everything else and where some stuff fell.
Yeah, definitely. I was surprised by number 2.
By number 2?
Yeah, number 2.
I think 4 is what surprised me.
4?
4 is what surprised me.
Yeah, that one surprised me too.
That's the surprise.
4 and 2. So be sure to stick around to the end because you're going to want to see this full list. At least the 4 and 2 and of course the number 1. So you're going to see the whole list. Anyhow, let's dive into this. You've got number 7. We have 7 on this list. 7 bourbons of the year.
7 bourbons of the year. Number 7.
Maker's Mark Cellar Aged.
Maker's Mark Cellar Aged. It is damn good. I actually had this the other day with a cigar, and it was actually really good with a cigar.
I was surprised at how much I liked this. I actually thought I loved BEP.
BEP was good.
BEP was so good. And then this came along, and this was really good. I think I had higher expectations for this.
I definitely had higher expectations for it. I think it finished in our Bourbon of the Year where it should have.
Yes.
At the bottom.
I agree. But it's still really good. It's just, I was expecting more out of it, but I think it's still really good. So it's still a great Bourbon of the Year. Fantastic. And if you find one or you have an opportunity to try it, be sure to do that.
We actually had a weeded in the Bourbon of the Year.
It's funny for us. Yep.
All right. So yeah, that's number 7.
Number 7.
Number 6.
And speaking, well, it's not really 7, but it's number 6, but it's Lucky 7.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lucky 7, 15-year, the Proprietor. Okay, so
this was an early release.
Early this year release. And at the beginning of the year, I was like, nothing's going to beat this. This is going to come out in January, February, and it's going to literally stomp on everything. And I love it.
It stomped on a lot.
It did stomp on a lot, and it is fantastic. But when I tried it up against some of those other ones that finished number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, whatever, it kind of was missing something. So it is really, really good, and it's still one of the bourbons of the year, and it's fantastic. Same thing last year, Lucky 7, 14-year Proprietor. Did really well. I can't wait to see what they bring out next year, but this is really, 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 really good. So there's that.
Ready for number 5? Lucky number 5?
Staying alive.
Is it another
Staying
Lucky?
Alive. It is not a number Lucky unless you're Taylor Swift, and it's Lucky 13.
Oh, Lucky 13.
Russell's 13.
This is batch for the LLLC batch code.
Very, very good.
Yep.
Fantastic.
I'm going to leave this one up here because number 4 was a big surprise.
Shocking. Actually, shocking.
It's a Russell's Reserve single barrel, but not just any one. This is one I actually helped pick with 5280 Whiskey Society. And it is a Thunder Chicken. It's a Thunder Chicken 7. It's a 10-year and just about 4 month Russell Reserve single barrel. It's a Camp Nelson B Floor 6. And we both blinded these we blinded all these, but we blinded these multiple times. This beat Russell's 13.
Well, the first time I blinded them, I had no idea that you put that in there.
Yeah.
And it is freaking
It blew
good.
our mind.
It is very, very good. Very, very good. Full of flavor, full of richness, and it is really a fantastic pour. And that's why it actually beat out Russell's 13. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're for real. So if you ever see those single barrel picks in your store or in your local groups that you're in or anything like that, be sure to pick them up because you don't want to miss something that could be like a diamond in the rough, just staring you in the face. Better than Russell's 13. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and what's crazy is I don't know if I've ever seen one of these, at least recently, that's over 9 years, like a 10-year.
Yeah, normally they're 9. 8, 9, 7. I've seen some 7.
But yeah, this one, it's phenomenal.
Age statement doesn't normally matter.
No, when we did these, we picked this and a Kentucky Spirit at the same time. They were all blind. And the Kentucky Spirit and this were both 10-year, basically 4-month, and Camp Nelson B Floor 6, each of them. Huh. And my God, they're both good.
Fantastic.
So yeah, 4th place, 4th and 5th.
All right, so now we got to move on to our 3rd place, which a lot of people are going to be disappointed because a lot of people. because a lot of people thought
yeah,
this
yeah.
was the bourbon of the year.
Yep.
A lot of people in their minds are like, and a lot of other people have picked this as their bourbon of the
that's
year.
fine. It's everyone's palate.
Every palate is their own. But for us, this finished in third place, and that is what we drink almost all this bottle. Elijah Craig C923. Now,
C923.
if you know me, you know I love C923, but you also know that I love A123.
Yep.
A123, literally so equal to this, in my opinion. I think.
I mean, it could have been on the list too, but we.
Oh, I mean, I
C923.
literally would have put A123 and C923 side by side on the list.
Yeah, we could have had it on there.
We could have. So you know what?
We could have had our
Right
own pick
now-
on the list too.
This is gonna be. Oh, it actually did finish.
Yeah, our own pick did beat one or two other bottles on this list, but we just didn't want to put that on here.
But we did it in a. He put it in a blind for
Yep.
me, and I picked
I didn't tell him.
our pick over some of the bottles in this video.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
But also, I think if I had a choice, like I would. Well, I do have a choice, but I think I would put A123 and C923 side by side.
Yeah, they're both phenomenal.
They're both, I mean, it just depends on if you want something a little more toffee chocolate forward or you want something a little more like fruity spice forward. They're both very, very good, and I would recommend both of them. So if you have a chance to pick up A123 and not C923, then pick it up.
Do it.
If you have a chance to pick up both, then pick up both. Recommend both of them.
But C923 is what made this list.
Yep, C923 at number 3.
All right, we ready for a controversial bottle here?
Oh, it's not even a bourbon.
Well, according to Jack Daniels, it's not a bourbon. Jack Daniels 12.
JD12.
It meets all the requirements of a bourbon, so we put it in bourbon of the year. Yet it says Tennessee whiskey.
It is Tennessee whiskey.
This thing is freaking awesome.
It's amazing, and the fact that it beat out all of these other.
And yeah, this one's what, 107 proof?
So 107
107.
proof beat out all. Like,
It's so oaky, it so fits our profile.
it's so good. It
Yeah.
really is a fantastic bottle, and I think Jack Daniels did an amazing job on this.
Yes,
like,
they did.
It's so good.
Jack Daniels has been kicking ass this year with the past couple years.
Well, I
the
mean,
Jack,
we're
the
releasing
Jack
the
10 last
bonnets,
year.
the Tennessee Tasters.
Oh, the Jack 10 last year, Jack 10 this year, the Jack 12. What they you liked it more than I did. The limited edition rye from this year, the toasted rye.
I did.
So Jack Daniels been kicking some ass.
I think it's also really fun that they've been trying new finishes and things like that. Like, Jack Daniels is one of the most like recognizable distilleries in the world, in the entire world. And when you put it up, like when you start to think, okay, Jack Daniels only makes Black Label, or Jack Daniels.
This is
like,
a black label.
Well, it's a Black Label. It's for sure a Black Label. But when you start to get bottles like this and all these amazing finishes that they're doing, it's just incredible, and it shows all the talent that Jack Daniels has at its tip of their fingers.
I
At the
can't
tip
wait.
of their fingers.
I can't wait to see what they do next year.
Oh, me either. Fantastic. The
Yeah.
Tennessee Tasters are great. Like,
Eh.
the pecan finish
Well,
one.
yeah. The last Tennessee Taster we got isn't, but that's finished stuff, and it doesn't matter. This isn't that video.
No, this is a Tennessee whiskey, JD12, and it is so good. So
All
good.
right.
Okay.
I think most people probably know what this next bottle is if they know us.
It is
So-
the highest score I have ever given any
Yeah.
bourbon,
Let's just bring it out here.
on
Bring
this
it out here.
channel.
This is number 1. This is our bourbon of the year.
People are gonna want to know which thing it is.
Yes, this is 23A.
23A. This
Michter's
is
10-year bourbon.
Michter's 10-year bourbon. Holy smackaroli.
Yep,
Holy
23A.
smackaroli. Michter's 10-year bourbon, 23A. This is absolutely fantastic.
This was like this bottle just came out and just did a mic drop. That's all.
It was like, bye.
Yeah, it's like see everything else.
Well, it was-
I'm winning.
Especially like in a blind, when something this good holds up in a
Heck.
blind against all those other
This
heavy
good
hitters.
at 94.4 proof.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of people are. I'm sorry, but there are people out there who were like, I don't drink anything under 100 proof.
You can't say that because you do something similar sometimes.
Yeah,
too.
but whenever something this good,
You wouldn't have known it's that good unless you tried it.
unless you try it. But the same thing with Orphan barrels, and they're
Yeah.
all like 80, 90 proof, and they're freaking fantastic. So don't judge a book by its cover.
Yes.
Judge it by the whiskey in the bottle.
Judge the whiskey by its taste.
And smell and finish. It's amazing. It's amazing. So this one really knocked our socks off. I mean, the first time I had this, I was like, I literally have to have this bottle. I have to have this bottle.
thank you to our friend, you know who you are, who helped us procure that bottle.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Because
much.
it ended up our whiskey of the year. Or
Bourbon of the year. Bourbon of the year. I mean, overall, I think if it was picking...
I think it probably ends up...
Overall,
I think
number
overall
one.
it would be our whiskey of the year, too.
Yep.
We're not doing necessarily a whiskey of the year.
I mean, we have a non-bourbon whiskey of the year.
Yeah, we're kind of categorizing them all.
But if I had to pick one overall,
It'd be
like
this one.
umbrella, it would be this one. I mean, literally, I gave this one 4.75 corks out of 5. Best score I've ever given a bottle that we own.
Yep.
Have I tried other things that get
Yeah.
5s?
Yep.
Yeah, Mixers 20, 25. Mixers is just kicking ass.
Celebration.
Now tell us, while you're hitting that subscribe button, be sure to tell us what your bourbon of the year is, what you like from our list, what you don't like from our list, what you're surprised by from our list. Let us know in the comments. And that is literally all we have for you. Cannot wait until next year to see what happens, because this year was definitely a surprise. Well, you guys have a wonderful day. I'm Dara.
I'm Bill.
And we'll see you next time right here on The Average Drinker.